Hey Davor, what's up?
Hey, Dušan, how's it going?
Very good, very good. How are you? Staying safe?
Um, staying easy, and with the Instagram lives, that keeps me sane. Having a 5-year-old at home, having my wife at home. It's like it's sometimes not.
All right,
No,
so a lot of work.
lot of work. No, but it's all good. You know, as I said, working out a little bit, trying to stay mentally healthy, reading a lot, and preparing like lives like with you and the other guys, and so it's all good. So how is the situation? You're in Belgrade at the moment?
Yeah, I'm back home in Belgrade. Here, it's okay. I mean, we have 1,500 cases right now. The quarantine is already in place for already maybe a week or two, so we can go out just for a couple hours a day. The rest staying at home, trying to be as responsible as we can. It's not easy to stay locked in a house, especially when you travel so much and then all of a sudden you're locked in an apartment. But we are actually we have a great time. I'm here with my girlfriend and our dog, so there's always something to do. Things
Yeah.
that I never had the time to do actually. So a lot of work around the house and learning how to cook. Not the best, but trying to stay active a little bit, doing some exercises. Not much we can do in the house, but trying to improvise a little bit, and that's it.
Yeah, I think it's as for me as well. I'm teaching 7 days a week, always on the tennis court. And I think for me as well, having time with family a little bit and seeing the loved ones a little bit more. That was actually a good thing that came out of it. I think for a lot of people, they said that that being just realizing that we're just human beings in the end of the day, and how busy we actually are during those days when we, on a regular basis. So Dušan, we with every guy I had on here so far, we'll always go back to junior years. So
All
how
right.
did you start? Why did you start, and where did you start?
Well, I started back in my old city, which is like 20 minutes from Belgrade, Stara Pazova, and I wanted to play football like every other kid in Serbia, but I was too young. They didn't have any football training camps for this age group.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I was with my parents in a tennis club. They had like a pizzeria. I just went for a pizza and just give it a go with a few balls. And since then I never stopped. I actually went to two football lessons, and it was a lot of kids there, and you touch the ball every 15 minutes. And I just said, this is not for me. So let's stick to tennis. And then I had a big transition when I was like going out from juniors, where I was deciding what to do, if I should go to college and play college tennis or go pro, because in juniors I was not very successful. I was around 130, and
Wait,
you don't see
junior
many
ITF or in
ITF.
Serbia?
You don't see many
Okay.
pros that being that bad in the juniors, but it worked out well for me, and I'm happy that I stick with what I wanted to do as a kid. And if you put it in a perspective, it's one of the best jobs you can do. You travel the world, meet so many fantastic people, and you do what you love. So I cannot complain.
So, I talked to my friend Damir Jumo. You guys obviously know each
Yeah,
other. So Damir said too, and I was surprised actually when he was 16. Do I go to college or 17? And then he talked to his dad and mom a lot. I was surprised because I grew up in Germany, but my parents are from Croatia, and at that time, like college tennis, I didn't know that was still in the Balkan area, that's still that was an
yeah.
option
I mean,
already at that time.
I have a lot of friends of mine who went to college and then now they live in the US. I always feel good playing tournaments there because I get to visit all of them, and um, it's a big opportunity because you get a scholarship into a good schools, and it's for me it doesn't sound like a bad option. Obviously, professional tennis is a little bit different, but anyways, if somebody decides to go that way, I mean, it's good to get that academic knowledge and invest in yourself in a different area. Me personally, if I went to college, I don't think I would try to go pro after college. So I would stick with school and just do what I studied after college. But when I was 18, 19, I had one point in my career where I thought that maybe that's an option, but I sit with my parents. They were giving me great advices, and they were always supportive. And at this time in tennis in Serbia, when I was growing up, we didn't have Novak and all these guys, so it was really unknown, and not many tennis players from Serbia. Actually, since Boba, we didn't have anybody since the Yugoslavia broke. So we actually didn't know what to expect going into the professional tennis, and it was just something new. And basically, when you look at the odds, it was like 1% of the people make it in tennis, which is not the best, not the best odds. But I was doing what I love, and I was always giving my best, and my parents were supportive enough to see that and to see that I'm enjoying, and I'm personally grateful to them that they were always thinking up to me, even when nobody else believed in me. They were always there, and they believed that I can play on the top level. And it was successful as a project. And from these countries, from Balkan and other regions that don't have good federations, it's basically like a family project, because
you don't get support.
It's tough to get good conditions. It's tough to get money from federation, because the federation is struggling as well. So in this kind of environment, it's really, really rare that we have so many good players.
Do you think it changed a little bit? So, you mentioned when you were playing, I think Janko is a little bit older than you, but like at that time, Janko was playing out there, and then now having Novak, Janko, like so many guys that open academies in Serbia. Do you think it like for the future that's going to help a little bit? It's going to be easier for the kids?
Yeah, I think that the next wave it should come when all of guys who are on tour now retire, and when they bring their knowledge back home, and when they use their influence to help other players. And we can see with Janko that he's trying to expand his academies all over the world, and Novak probably doesn't have enough time, but when he retires at one point in a career, I think he's gonna want to get back to the place where everything started and try to help so many kids. Because the way I see it is, if we have so many players for so few people that live in Serbia, we're basically like, I don't know, half of a city in China. We're just 7 million people here, and we have 5, 6, 7 players in top 100, so that's a lot. So if we had the right system and the right coaching and everything correct, I believe that we would have even more. I mean, when you look France or Spain, the tennis is in their history. The tennis in history in Serbia is not that old, but we can build it up. We can make it a national sport, because I think that Balkan people are very talented in group sports, in sports in general. So even if with the right mentality and the right coaching and the right conditions, and if you have enough tennis clubs, enough academies, enough personnel, what they're doing, and tournaments as well. 15, 20 years ago, players from Serbia that were like ranked 500 in the world, it was a big success, because you didn't have a lot of tournaments around. You had satellites, and it was completely different. So now you have a lot of players that also come up to top 200, top 300, and then they're a little bit struggling there. But I feel that what you need is either to be much better than the rest, or to have the right coach at the time, but you need to afford the right coach. So there's a lot of little things that can improve, and if we get this thing right, then we can have, we can produce players regularly every year. And I think this is what needs to happen in Serbia.
Yeah, I like that. It's like, and I think it will be more and more like Croatia as well. I hope all the guys like Martin, my friend, like when he's going to retire one day, I hope we're going to have more people coming. And as you said, I agree with you on that one. So Dušan, when you played, you played, like I had yesterday Danilo on there, right? He's live as well, Petrovic, and what I wanted to ask you is, so he grinding all the years playing futures and challengers and until you break into the top 100, it took you as well a couple of years. So how mentally, I have so many friends still there, like 150, 200, and some are still 250, and they play for 10 years already. What do you tell those guys, to keep grinding and keep doing it, because obviously, you made it, and there are others that made it?
Yeah, personally, the way I was always looking at things is I started a bit later playing futures with maybe 17, 18, and then I was stuck on the future level for like 2 years, maybe 2.5 years. Then with 20, 21, 20 and a half, 21, I started playing challengers, and I played challengers for another 2.5 years. So whenever I was in a situation that I can play a higher competition level, I would go. If from futures I was able to play challenger qualies, I would start with challenger qualies instead of just being futures main draw, because I believe if you play futures in a main draw level and you go to a challenger qualies and you lose 10 times, doesn't matter, but you're improving. And you can always go back to futures level because you were once there. You're not going to lose. If you lose points, you will earn them back. It's the same with challenger level. If you stay too long there, then you get used to that level and you get used to playing that way. And there is not really a lot of space for improvement because all the guys around you are doing the things in a similar way. And everybody can beat anybody in that level. But if you go step up and you go to the ATP level, then you see how much you need to improve to compete with the guys who are at the top. And you just need to get used to every level. Obviously, it's not easy, but sometimes players feel that they're more confident if they go to challenger level and play main draw instead of playing ATP qualies, because they know that they're there in the main draw, maybe seeded, maybe they can get 1-2 rounds, but at the end of the day, you can play challengers every week. But if you get sometimes, occasionally in the ATP qualies, it's not like you're playing that every week. So you need to grab that chance. And if you break it once or twice, then you can see that you can do it, and then it becomes natural to you. When I was 21, I remember I was just started playing challengers, and then I got into a couple of main draws during the summer, and then going to September, October. Dirk Horder is my manager, so he was always helping me out with the schedule. So he said, I believe that you should play the 2 ATP qualies. It was back-to-back Moscow and St. Petersburg.
And you made the quarters.
Yeah, it's at the end of the year. Players get there sometimes really tired, they're mentally exhausted. And at this time I was still young and I had a lot of strength. I didn't get tired at all. So I went there. I qualified in Moscow, which was my first or second time to qualify in the ATP. Then going to St. Petersburg, I was confident. I qualified again, played quarters. So back then I broke to top 200, and since then I was just trying to improve. And it was one of the big steps that helped me see that I can play in the same level.
And Dušan, so you said like it helped you to improve. So what did you need to improve, from the challenger level to top 100? I know now it's and it's like it's so easy now. I saw Danilo wrote like they're making fun now, and that because they have it done already with the live. You see, like that's.
Yeah. All right. Sorry.
No problem. If you see something, you can always answer. No problem at all. What I wanted to say is, what did you have to improve for yourself to enter like top 100? What did you feel like you needed? Like,
for me, the way I see it was I was gradually progressing in my improvement. I was never like making a big jump in the levels, and I feel that my game was. I had good shots, but I was never like able to put my game in the right way to play tactically well. And the biggest jump was not for me breaking top 100. I feel it was breaking top 50, and starting with Jose, my current coach, and the whole team is when I really made the difference. And we started working on my weapons and how to use them on the court in a different situation, because you can play a great shot, but it doesn't mean that it's necessarily going to win you the point, because tactically it was not the right decision. So for me, what we are trying to do is use my weapons in the best way against certain opponents. So when I started like trying to use my forehand as a weapon and try to play my forehand as much as I can on the tennis court, that's when I started feeling improvement. Obviously, we had to improve the forehand as well, but it comes more naturally when you have that mentality in your head that you want to attack and dominate with the forehand. Just a second.
Yeah, no problem. Take your time.
So it's just the Counter-Strike Live League on my TV. That's what I'm calling these days.
No FIFA?
So that's the biggest jump that I made in my career so far, breaking into top 50 and then going further. And I feel that a lot of players on this level have all the shots that are very good technically, and they can play any shot from any position. But what makes the difference is where you put that shot, and if you do it with the right plan. And I think that in any level this is very important. But on the other hand, if you are in a level below and you're having difficulties with playing forehand cross court 50 times, it's not going to help you if you do the right things. I don't know, eating well. First, you need to learn how to hit the forehand, learn how to hit the backhand, and then when you get to that point that eating well is making a difference for you, then you start doing that thing. So the basic
priorities
thing is the basic. Yeah, exactly. So that's the way I was always looking at tennis, and it worked out last couple of years. I really started feeling that I can play at the top level for longer than just one match or one week.
Okay. So Dušan, like, you know, serve and return obviously is like super big, you know. With Novak, you have Craig O'Shaughnessy, a friend of mine, you know, who works with him with data and analyzing things. And he said, like, you know, Novak has one of the best backhands in the game, like, right? But like, you still needed to make the forehand like even more powerful, because 70% of the shots are hit with forehands, right? So
yeah, exactly. You can see with him on the court, even if he has an easy ball, which is on the maybe backhand side, but if he can take it with a forehand, he will, because you open the angles much more, and it's basic geometry.
Yeah, like with the return as well, I guess. So Novak was one of the like first who returned a lot to the middle, right? So, and either like to the middle forehand or backhand, depending on who he's playing. So yeah, as you said, I think that's for any level, that's a good insight and good input, especially for the guys that are playing like satellites, you know, futures, like that they see, you know, that they need to work on the strategy part. All right, coming a little bit like, so you guys went to the Maldives with all your tennis friends. So how did that happen? Tell us a little bit fun.
Well, Janko is Janko is also part of the managing agency. Him and Dirk are our agents, so he made the deal possible, and it was great fun because we were at the Davis Cup together, and then just moved to an island together, and we had a little exhibition there, and the crew at the island took good care of us, and usually we all go to holidays alone, and you know, at this time of the year, after traveling so much and meeting so many people, the best holiday for me is just for 1 week, just to lay on the beach and just do nothing, sunbathe. But this was a lot of fun because all of us are great friends off the court, and we personally hang out when we are at home as well. So it's not just on the tournaments. And in this case, it was really a lot of fun, and I think that it changes the way that we do holidays, because we recharge energy, we recharge our batteries as well, and it was great fun, and it was really productive.
Yeah, nice. And then talking about Janko, you know, like having him in a team, you know, when he was young, he was, I think, 17 or 18. He played Challenger in Germany, in Wolfsburg, came to Berlin, where I'm from, and I hit with him a couple of times. I'll never forget, I tell everybody the story that I meet, especially my kids. You know, you're done playing, right, and you see a guy with tattoos, and it's Friday evening, we played, right? So only his father was there, and Vladimir Stojakovic, like, he's in Berlin, he was like hitting, you know, so we were hitting, and we're done, and I was like, hey, Janko, you know, I had a friend who had a nightclub, a nice nightclub, you know, Toby is his name, he's on here too, and then I was like, Janko, idemo, let's go out, you know, and then he's like, I will never forget that. It's like, Friday night is Davor. I can't, I don't do that stuff. I was like, what do you mean? It's like, tomorrow morning I have a program for my fitness coach, I have to do that. And I was like,
very weird for Janko. He used to party a lot when he was
but like, no, that I was like, but he told me I have to work out in the morning. Sorry, man. I was like, whoa, I'll never forget that struck with me. So, you know, that's when I met Janko, very, very nice guy. So it's probably one of the best guys you can have in a team. All right, let's go to Monte Carlo. That was the jump from I guess from 50-ish to like 20-ish in the rankings.
That was not a bad week.
Yeah. tell us a little bit about, because so many guys want to listen. So how did you mentally enter that? You just
that tournament I didn't know if I was gonna play because I was sick. I was taking antibiotics like literally in the half week of the tournament. So I stopped maybe taking antibiotics on Tuesday, Wednesday. So that's basically a second round. I was in Barcelona flying to Monaco, and my idea was just to go there and see how I feel, and if I don't feel good, I should pull out of the tournament. And on Thursday I didn't practice. I flew on Friday morning, and on Friday afternoon I practiced with Rafa there, and it was a really good practice session. And I was feeling okay physically, and just taking antibiotics. Last 3-4 days of antibiotics, I didn't have any physical issues. So I said, okay, let's give it a go. Let's try it. And without any expectations, I probably played the best week of my life. And in tennis, most of the times it comes up like that, you know, without any expectations. You go out there and all of a sudden you play your best tennis. And since the first match, I really felt great on the court, even though I didn't really prepare for the tournament the way we wanted, and it came out great. I think that I also improved my level from day to day in every match that I played. Finals was tough because Fabio was really playing well that week. I mean, he struggled in the first round against Rublev. Rublev, I think, even had match points or something like that. So he was on the edge of just not making the first round, and in the end, winning the tournament. These things happens in tennis, but anyways, it was way more positive things for me than just losing in the finals. But the most positive thing for me was beating the top players from day to day, and this was, I think, the big improvement in my mentality.
And then Dušan, when you play like team, like can you tell us, like, you know, what game plan like do you have? I mean, you play a guy like team, you know, who can hit the ball so hard, he can be like 40 feet behind the baseline and still can put pressure on his opponents, you know, great.
Yeah, well, Domi beat me actually 5 times before that, all 5 on clay. And I really didn't have much chances in the previous matches. And going into that match, I was trying, because that week I just had my physio and my friend with me. My coach was not there. So I was most of the time preparing myself. And the way I was thinking was like, okay, Domi, when he's on, it's really tough to play him, and he's got big ground strokes, and his game plan is for clay. I think it's one of the best game plans. He tries to overrun with the forehand to open the court with heavy top spins, and his kick serve is really making a lot of damage. And on the other side, I know that he doesn't really change that much his game plan, because the way he plays, it's just if he is able to do what he does, it's really tough to counterattack that. And in my head, I had it like, I know his game plan. I'm just going to try to play it before he plays it. So if he's going to start with the kick serve more times than with the flat, I'll just go to that side a millisecond earlier or stuff like that. And then when he tries to hit the forehand, I will move to the backhand side, because that's where he wants to go first. And that was just, the whole match was perfect by my side. And obviously he didn't play his best level, but, you know, I was able to do the things that made him uncomfortable, and he wasn't able to really find a way to do it. And when you're able to do that, then you can play with anybody. But it's just so difficult on this level to do that every day, and against these players who are in top 10 and top 5, against them, because they get used to it really quickly, and then they change the things. And when they cannot change the things, maybe that's the time when you have a chance.
All right, let's go to doubles a little bit. So you started to play with Nicola a little bit more. How did that start? And yeah, let's go with that first. How do you guys start it?
Yeah, we are best friends since we were kids, and we played under 10, under 12, under 14, because we were the same age. And now we live next to each other. Our parents are one of the best friends, and basically we grow up together, and we actually won our first futures in doubles together. And now when he started playing only doubles, I said, okay, whenever we have a chance to play together, we should try it, and I should try to use my ranking to get in the tournament with you know, and it helps a lot to the guys who are playing doubles. And
like my friend Ante Pavic, he's
exactly.
played a couple with Kecmanovic.
You know? Yeah, for me, I mean, playing doubles, it's good. It helps a lot of stuff, but sometimes it gets in the way of singles. And, you know, you have to play. Last year in French Open, I played 6 days in a row because we played doubles quarters with Janko, and I played third round in singles. So that was not the smartest idea for singles. But on the other hand, I already entered, and I don't want to pull out of doubles. I just feel that if I commit to something, I should do it. And playing, on the other hand, playing with Nikola is a lot of fun because we know each other so well and we practice so many times, and it's really enjoying the court. And if we can enjoy and win some matches, even better. Now we played this year 2 times, Australian Open and Acapulco. In Acapulco, we played semi-finals, so it was really good. I think that he has a quality to climb enough to play doubles on the top level, and he just need to find the right partner. And in doubles, it's like that. If you find the partner that you can fit well with and you guys improve together, then it's much easier than if you have to change the partners every week like he's doing right now. And up to me is like I'm trying to help him out, but obviously we cannot play every week together because it would be too much for me, and then if I'm getting tired and then I'm not helping him enough. So it's better if you could find the partner for himself through the whole season, and I try also to help him out as much as I can, and I think that's the perfect combination.
I love that. As I said, you know, Ante played a couple, he usually plays with Brkic, but then, you know, Cilic played a couple of times with Brkic, and then Ante played a couple of times with Miomir. So I think that's great of you guys, you know, and as you said, you guys are best friends, so that comes with that. That's awesome. Just a couple more. ATP Cup. How did you? I asked the other guy, how did you like it?
Yeah, it was great. It was the first time that the event like that was held. I mean, in this kind of level, and going in there, we didn't expect so many fans from Serbia coming up every day. But that was just an incredible experience. Yeah, just playing in front of so many people supporting you, it just gives you an extra boost. And to win it for the first time, I mean, it's the week that you always remember because we were together the whole week, hanging out, staying in the same place, playing cards, having fun. And it was like you go away with your friends for like 5 days and you win a tournament at the end. So it came out great. But I think that the whole concept of the ATP Cup is really good. Obviously, there's a lot of things that need to be worked out, like how many players can enter, the weeks. Does it count as a 19th week, or extra week for the players who are playing somewhere else? Does it count that week as an extra week or not? So obviously, there are a lot of rules that need to be maybe changed or a little bit changed, but overall, I think that the response from the fans and the tournaments was great, and I spoke to a lot of players that played, and I heard a lot of positive comments. The things that really maybe affect some players are that the players who are going but not playing singles, and they could play singles somewhere else. It's maybe a little bit tricky, but at the end of the day, it was a team competition, and that's how we approached it.
And so you felt like it was a good preparation for the Australian Open. I mean, you played well. You beat like Per, Kachanov, like all the guys.
I mean, it was very good. It took some time to recover. It took me like 2-3 days because it was a lot of tension. And at the end, you know, traveling from Brisbane to Sydney, it's not a long trip, but still changing the cities. And then the guys who came from Perth, it was even time difference. So it's not easy, but it's good that you have the whole week to recover and get into the Grand Slam, because you know how tough it's before the Grand Slam. All the players come in and it's a lot of people and a lot of pressure. So it was good that there was a week in between, and a lot of players that played good in the ATP Cup came and played good in the Australian Open. And Novak, for example, you could see that he started off the year unbelievable. So I think that the timing was perfect for that kind of event.
All right, one more question, Dušan. Like, what do you like to do when you practice like singles? Like, is there any favorite drill you have? Or I ask everybody, you know, I got some really cool doubles drills from some doubles players. Do you like anything? I can't reveal my secret. Sorry.
Joking. Yeah. One of my favorite drills is actually when the opponent is staying in the forehand corner and he plays 3 forehands, cross court, middle, down the line, and you try to play forehand, 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 and then you start running forehand, cross court back to him. So he is playing 3 forehands. You're trying to play inside in, and then he opens the court to the cross court, like trying to go for the winner, and you try to save, and after that you start the point again. So this drill for like 2-3 times to go in 3-4 shots. So that's like maybe 10-12 shots in the total for like 2-3 series or something like that. And I try to do this whenever I change surfaces, obviously on clay much more because the points are longer, but something like that is the thing that I work most.
Okay. Awesome. So
in one of the drills, you use the taekwondo target. Can you explain? That's one of the comments. My fitness coach, actually, he's from Argentina, Javier Capitain. He used to work with a lot of Argentinian players and other players. And for me, he does fitness in a completely different way. He not improvise, but just makes the exercises himself. And a lot of like martial arts movements are very similar to the movements on tennis court. And that's what we're trying to use. The way to work in fitness is the way that you want to move on tennis court. And the taekwondo target we use just because the racket is too long and you can get the power with the target, and it really helps the whole chain of motion.
No, it's not. All right. Yeah, I didn't even see that one coming. All right. Well, Dušan, I mean, like, that's awesome that you took your time. What I wanted to say is what I love about, all the camaraderie, between the players, like Goran Tosic, another good friend of mine, when you guys are in Australia, for example.